Alright guys, so Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. So excuse me. So in this video, man, I kind of want to talk about Cardi B. So you know, recently it just came out and it showed a video that Cardi B was basically endorsing Bernie Sanders. That's what it showed. I'm gonna read this article. It says the 77-year-old Vermont senator and the 26-year-old Bronx rapper met at a Detroit nail salon on Monday to film a video for the former 2020 presidential campaign. Surprise? You shouldn't be. Cardi B has been weighing in on politics and feeling the burn for quite some time. Cardi and Bernie discussed student debt, climate change, and the minimum wage for a video filmed at the 10 Nail Bar, according to CNN. Sanders told the outlet that it was part of his push to involve more young people in the political process who are voting in large numbers, but still not enough. Cardi B thanked Sanders for meeting with her in an Instagram post and said he had answered questions she had gathered from her followers a couple of weeks ago. Stay tuned to see how he will fight for economic, racial, and social justice for all. Together, let's build a movement of young people to transform this country, she wrote. While Cardi B clearly has her favorite candidate picked, more on that later, she also making a broader push for people to pay attention to the primary in a separate video on Instagram. She called on bloggers, YouTubers, and influencers to get educated on the race. We get distracted with people putting Trump on blast, like CNN constantly putting Trump on blast for the evil shit he has been committing in this country. Because he puts things on Twitter that distract us from all the BS that he's actually doing. So instead of us posting the little BS that he be posting on Twitter, why don't we post every single day these positive things that the Democratic candidates want to do in our country? This man has a big chance at winning 2020, and we can change that. So it goes on to say that, she said that, like, for example, he wants to stop racism. It's like that's not going to happen. There are certainly things you just can't do. What are you going to do? Go burn a bunch of Confederate flags in Virginia Beach in Mississippi, she said. The article then goes on to say she had a video in which she encouraged supporters to vote for Daddy Bernie. In 2016, Cardi B said she liked Hillary Clinton because she was a strong woman, but she did feel Clinton was a little fake, but she was hypercritical of Donald Trump and ultimately backed Clinton in the general election, telling her social media followers to do the same ahead of election day. After 2016, Cardi B has remained engaged, and the affirmity between her and Sanders has continued. In 2018, Sanders retweeted Cardi B's comments on Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Social Security. Cardi B is right, he said. Now that Sanders is in the 2020 race, Cardi is firmly in his corner. I'm always going to be with Bernie, she said to Teen Vogue in April. He doesn't say things to be cool, but because he means them. Like, there's pictures of him being an activist from a very, very long time ago. She tweeted in mid-July that she is really sad how we let Sanders down in 2016. Seeing the country become a better place has really been a passion for a long time, not a new front campaign, she wrote. Sanders has publicly welcomed her support in her interview with MSNBC following her tweet. He thanks her for her support and said he had spoken with her and found her very sharp with a good understanding of politics and history. In a subsequent question interview with Jimmy Kimmel, he reiterated his appreciation for her support, and she said she is deeply concerned about what's happening in this country. Cardi B published a clip on Instagram and said she was sure her high school history teacher was happy. It goes on to say if he wins, then she may get an invitation to the White House. She calls it the Keep It Real party and stuff like that and everything. The thing is about this whole thing is I think personally it's for clout. I really don't think that Cardi B is really concerned with how the country is going, due to the simple fact that she's far removed from the reality that a typical minority faces. Like, she doesn't have to worry about being snatched up by immigration, Although my papers are legit and stuff like that, I have to worry about being snatched up by immigration, Some of my partners have to worry about being snatched up by immigration. Even if, if you're a citizen of an immigrant background, even American citizen, you still have to worry about being snatched up because it's been happening, man. And as I said before, and Malcolm X has said it before too, that it's not going to do you any good to trust a white liberal, or trust a white Democrat, period, or trust a Democrat, period. We've been saying it all along that it's the same tale, which is on a different animal, okay? But the result is the same, whether you vote Republican or whether you vote Democrat. One side has a way of doing what it wants to do in your face. The other side has a way of doing what it wants to do disguised as helping you and benefiting you, right? So my thoughts on her is I really don't think that she's concerned with how this country is going. At the end of the day, she's a multimillionaire, right? At the end of the day, she's afforded privileges that a lot of people aren't afforded. At the end of the day, if she was really concerned about it, why not organize the people? Why not organize your fellow musicians into talking about what the real issues are? Why not do that? You know what I mean? Instead, she capped on the back of Bernie Sanders, and of course they say, oh, feel the burn, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, is for me, as I said before, it's clout. It's basically that's all it is. My thought on, I just want to expand on this. My thought on Westminster democracy is this. This is just what I really think about, like, Westminster democracy. If you, for example, like, let's just look at the example. Every 4 years, an American citizen decides to put an X by their name and who they want to vote for, right? That's what they do. They say, okay, we want this guy, and we're voting for this guy. This guy says, we're going to do so many things for you. We're going to give you, we're basically going to, how should I put it? We're going to end certain things. We're going to leave the hot spots of war. We're going to invest in schools more. We're going to do this. It all sounds very good. Like, it all sounds like, okay, like very good lip service. Like, people are like, oh, wow, he means business. This is good. This is a lovely thing that he's trying to implement. We always hear that, right? So we put X by the name, and then that person represents you for the next 4 years, and basically what that person says goes. Like, if a person wants to go to war, it's gonna go. If a person wants to send ICE out to, like, snatch up immigrants, is gonna go. If a person basically wants to implement policies that basically benefit higher uppers, is gonna go. And the thing is about that is that, the masses of people don't really have a say-so in it. Their only say-so was to put an X by the name of the person that they put in power to implement those policies. So my thing is that, this is just how I feel. Westminster democracy, it works. It may work for a few, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really work for the majority. My thoughts about the whole thing is that, like, I think that people should be able to control their own destiny when it comes to what kind of things they want implemented and what kind of things are going to benefit them in the long run. Like, I think that that's basically more fitting than just doing the current system that's being done right now. Because, like, people, like, what I'm saying is that, like, I think a lot would be done in this country. Like, more would be done in America if people were to organize, like, committees, and, like, the committees will come up with just like, okay, what are the problems? What are we dealing with? What are the challenges that we have here? What are the solutions that we need to work towards? And if we do that, and present the solutions to someone who can actually, like, have an influence on implementing the solutions, then that may get a lot more done. You know, I don't think putting an X by a name every 4 years is going to get things done. You know, I know people say you need to vote, 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 and stuff like that, how important it is to vote. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if a vote does not change anything, then you're only wasting your time. You know, so with Cardi B endorsing Bernie Sanders and trying to tell the youth to get involved, my thing is this, man. Why don't you tell the youth to find a way to represent themselves? Like, tell the youth to find a way to, I want to say, find a way to, you know, them to organize and them to, like, look at each other and say, okay, what are the problems we're dealing with? What are the challenges? Why not do that? You know? And I'm not trying to be mean, but I kind of like see a double standard. Like, I mean, if she was serious, if she was serious about like the, you know, doing something like, and about people organizing politically and stuff like that, it should express in her music, bro. Her music should express like what's going on in this country. Her music should express the problems that are here, you know. But you know, it doesn't I want to say it doesn't reflect that, you know. So I think it was just her to gain some more fans from like the liberals, basically. That's why she did it. You know, that's why she's saying all she's saying. And as for Bernie Sanders, like, for me, he's no different from a Kamala Harris. He's no different from he may be a little bit more milder than Trump, but he ain't no different. Like, when I look at his policies on like Venezuela, he still wants regime change there. Like, so if he wants regime change in Venezuela, what does that tell you about what else he's gonna want? You know? So so for me, I'm not really fooled, you know? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the man is an Ashkenazi Jew. So you can imagine how he feels about Israel too, you know? And that's just what it is. He may try to like increase the billions of dollars Israel already gets, you know. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, man. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. Let me know what you think of Cardi B's so-called, you know, endorsement of Bernie Sanders. Fool is signing out. Njarama.